The only one they left me on was the one with the letters, like MTI, something like that. But
The diuretic one is what
yeah,
she's
the
saying.
diuretic one.
Okay.
The one I take at bedtime and the new one that they gave me, they said don't take those, just take the one. And the weird part is my blood pressure went up a little after I started taking it.
So you were okay. So they took you because you were taking atenolol and then hydrochlorothiazide, which is the diuretic.
Okay.
Which one they take you? Because those are the two that I had for you.
Okay, the diuretic is what they kept me on.
Okay, the HCT.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Okay. They took the atenolol off.
Right.
Okay. Eliminated atenolol. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And
did they adjust the dosage? Or kept the dosage the same?
Kept the pill size the same.
Okay.
And before when I wasn't taking it, my blood pressure was like 110s, and after I started taking it, it's 120s.
Okay, so it's gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, but nothing terrible. So
no.
Okay, still controlled.
Yeah, the bottom number has been going up for some reason. It's been from the 70s, then the 80s, and this morning it's a 90.
It was 90 this morning. All right, we'll make sure we get your blood pressure today.
Of course, I was racing around. I could have had something to do with it.
All right. Okay. Let's see here. Thanks for sending those pictures because it shows that your weight was going down, so which is good. What were you at this morning on your scale?
291.2.
Ah.
And I didn't send you one last week after I had seen you.
Yeah.
I didn't have the heart to send you the one the next morning because it was over 300.
Okay.
I was in tears. I was like, I can't do this, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna have some fluctuation.
Yeah.
And plus, I don't know that your scale, right?
Yeah.
Your scale. So let's not worry too much. Let's just see where you are today.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the most important part. The home scale kind of gives you a snapshot. So let's not worry too much about that. All right. So let's go ahead and have you take off your jacket.
Got to wear heavier clothes today because we're going to mandatory workout at the gym right after here.
Okay.
So
Why do you have to wear heavier clothes?
Well, I was wearing my gym clothes.
Oh, your gym clothes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Where usually I wear my other stuff.
You're trying to bring up your food block, but it's just kind of cycling through. Good job.
294.8.
It's a big 6-pound swing. Plus, even you're below where you were. So this is the lowest you've been.
Yeah.
So that shows you how much water you were holding. But in addition, it shows you're still losing weight. So I think that's a really important, reinforcement what you've seen. 3 pounds because it's previous. Let's go ahead and just leave that down because I don't want that being strict.
Okay.
This can get it through it. Technically, you don't want to do it, but this will get it through it. 113/87.
Wow. And I haven't even taken my pill yet.
So that's still okay. 113/87.
So how important is that bottom number?
Real important.
Okay. When's it a bad?
When it's above 100.
Oh, okay. So
And now when you get up around 90s, in the 90s, it's a red flag. But anything above 100, that's not good.
Okay.
Just because that bottom number measures how much resistance is in the vessels. So if you think of kind of like a garden hose, so it's the pressure on the back end of the hose when you clamp down. It's measuring the pressure, and then what happens is the flow volume decreases. So the only way your body can compensate to increase the volume or the output is to pump harder, and that's what really moves that top number up. So it's kind of like a yin and the yang. They both kind of play off each other. Okay. The good thing about it, exercise will cause both of them to go down. So.
Oh, okay. I guess I can turn that off now, right?
So tell me a little bit about your week. Besides the medication change and, you're losing weight, which is good. That's always a good sign. You've lost, that's 7 pounds. So you probably lost about 3 pounds, 4 pounds of water plus
whatever.
3 pounds of weight,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Which makes me feel a whole lot better.
Yeah?
I was telling my husband, I says, you created a small problem for me.
In what way?
I bought these because I was over 300 pounds.
It's good sign that your clothes are getting too big. Yeah.
I went to put them on, I was like, oh, I got a problem.
That's a win. That's a win.
Yeah, so I was like, oops, and he says, good thing you're a seamstress, they can tattoo in.
Yeah, that's a really good. So if we look at where where you started, right? So you are just shy of 20 pounds. Just shy. And so you could have been at 20 pounds. Turn this off. Sorry about that. You could have been at 20 pounds probably a week ago, which would have been about 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So I think if we look at that, is you are you're doing good. For your first month, you're just under 20 pounds down. Right. So I think that's.
I've never done that.
In a month.
In a month. I've gone 20 pounds down, but it's taken me months to do it.
You've already exceeded 5% of your body weight in a month.
Wow. That's a lot.
And I think what's important to keep in mind, right, is for, right now, obviously you still have a lot you want to lose, right? Obviously you have a lot you need to lose for your health, right? But I think what's important to recognize, a lot of commercial programs, right, like Weight Watchers and so forth, are great programs for helping people lose weight. But the mean average, right, the typical average weight loss is about 5 to 7%, over about a 3-month period of time. Okay, and so you've been able to achieve that in your first month.
Yeah. Okay,
and that's really, really important, is because once you hit that 10% mark, albeit small improvements, but your body will already respond favorably from a health stand. And what I mean by that is you've already seen what's going on with your blood pressure. They've had to eliminate 1 medication already in your first month.
Yeah.
Right? That's great.
Yeah.
To be able to see that kind of rapid change. You don't typically see that. But blood pressure is one of those things we do see dramatic results in the first couple months. So I think not only have you been able to lose about 20 pounds, but you've also been able to eliminate medication. Right? So when we go back and talk about the health consequences of being severely overweight from a quality of life perspective, quality of life from a financial, quality of life from just your everyday activities of living, right, get better. Right?
Yeah.
So if you eliminate 1 medication, the cost of that medication, if it's $10 a month, that's $120 a year right there, saved already in your first month.
Yes.
Right? So you got to look at it from those standpoints, that you're investing in you, in your health, which pays big dividends long term.
Right.
Right? That's what you have to look at. But everything looks good. I mean, I was looking at your diet log actually earlier this morning as it finally tried to come up, and you've been doing a really good job. In addition, the exercise that you're doing is looking good too. How are you feeling from exercise? In regards to, what are you finding during exercise? Any difference from when you first started?
It's easier. Like I said, I'm now putting 5 pounds on my workout, so it's a little more challenging.
Right.
But as the month goes by, of course, it's getting easier and easier and easier. So I'm gonna have to put a little bit more next time I go on weights. Which I found out when I do that circuit that I was telling you about, with the weightlifting incentive program, I'm doing 935 pounds per workout of lifting.
Wow, nearly a half ton.
Yeah. So it's based, and like I said, it's you take 5 pounds, you go 1, or that's 5, that's 10, that's 15.
Okay.
So by the time I finish that circuit, I have done 935 pounds.
Nearly a half ton.
I'm like, go me.
Good for you. Good for you. Are you having any cravings?
Lately, I was going to ask you about that. Kidney beans, aren't they a starch?
Starch, yeah.
Because I've been wanting chili.
But they're also, decent protein.
Decent protein? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
any lentil, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I've been thinking about chili, but the chili is not, there is some kidney beans in it, but it's mostly vegetable and meat.
Okay.
And so I was just wondering if the kidney beans would be okay to have in that.
That's fine.
I know I can't have the potato. We put potatoes in our.
Yeah.
That would be a no.
Sugar looks good.
Yeah.
The only sugar you're getting is from the meal replacements.
Right.
Which is fruit sugar, so which is good.
The food bar, I'm kind of glad I switched the meal and the food bar some because I was having trouble going to bed on time because it takes me so long to eat the meal.
Okay.
It's like I can't just sit there and scarf it all down. I have to. It takes me about an hour or so to get it all in. But so I take it earlier in the day, and I have a meal bar at night, and it kind of solved another problem that I've been having. Before I started seeing you, I always wanted something sweet before I went to bed for some reason. So I would have like a small thing of ice cream or.
Well, you know why?
No.
Because you were pre-diabetic. Your blood sugars were running high, and so anytime that you have elevated blood sugar, you tend to crave more sugar.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, because at bedtime I always had to have something. Usually I tried to keep it like fruit, but I've been guilty of having candy or ice cream or something, something sweet before I went to bed. And so this the food bar kind of solves that urge of wanting something sweet before I go to bed.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I feel like I'm getting
how is sleep?
Most part it's been pretty good. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I go right back to sleep. It's not like wake up and sit there and stare at the walls and wait for sleep to happen. It's just getting comfortable, that kind of thing. I did find out that Senna, that tea that I was questioning, I tried it again Sunday because I knew Monday I wasn't going to be doing anything, and come to find out I am having a reaction to that. It basically, I guess what it does, from what I understand, is it cleans out your system, but you get cramps and all that kind of thing from it too, really bad. So I was like, okay, now that I know where the source of the problem was coming from, I got rid of it. I know what was bothering me. This last week, Monday, the day before I had the tea, my muscles in my stomach were hurting really, really bad. Say you go playing ball with your kids and you haven't done it in a long time, and the next day your muscles are just screaming at you all day. Same kind of thing. So it's like I've been using.
What'd you do the day before with exercise?
Nothing different.
Nothing different.
Nothing different. It's been just go to the gym like I've always done, or I took Susie for a walk at the mall.
Okay.
Stuff like that. It was nothing new, and I was wondering if losing so much weight. The only thing I can think of is difference. I lost a lot of weight. According to my scale, I lost 9 pounds this week.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if losing all that weight at once.
Not to my knowledge, unless it's pulling on, so like you get skin that's pulling on the, you have a fascia between the muscles and the skin, right? Unless the skin is has been, because normally when you lose weight, you can have some extra skin. I mean, that's something that you're aware that's going to happen. Right? Unless it's pulling on that fascia, right? I wouldn't really know what would cause that pain unless it's you strain a muscle or something along those lines.
Something I wasn't.
Yeah, I normally haven't experienced patients having muscle soreness from losing rapid weight like you have. So.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't. I was like, dang, that hurt. Even when I went to go work out, it was.
Yeah.
It hurt. But I did my workout anyway because I knew that's the only way to really relieve the pain. But it was just kind of weird that it was happening, and I was like, what did I do to cause this? So, I'm trying to think what else. The food's been good. Of course, I get a lot of teasing about, how little I eat, and they're like, you're gonna die or something. And I'm like, I don't feel sick. I don't feel hungry. Granted, yesterday I felt, I was working on a migraine and not feeling well and that kind of thing, and so I had some chicken, 2 bites of chicken, and that solved whatever was going on.
What did you have to eat during the day?
That was before I even had dinner.
So
I just had just a shake and yogurt.
Are you getting enough fluid?
I've been drinking water all day long. But
okay.
Because the shake, I get this plus these 2 plus 2 extra things of water.
Okay.
So that's my 8 cups. and there's been times I've gotten a little bit more, and then
Right.
after I get that, then I'll have my tea.
Okay.
And I might have maybe 2 cups of tea
Okay.
after that. So I'm getting plenty of fluids, but it was just every now and then I used to get these migraines that were just crippling.
Okay.
Blinding migraines. And so it felt like that. It didn't get quite to that point, but it got like that. And I found that protein's usually the best way to combat it.
And you had chicken and you were okay?
Yeah. I had
Okay.
2 bites of chicken, and I was like, a few minutes later I was like, okay, now I can deal with whatever I gotta do.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So, that's not all I can think of. Had fun getting ugly with a hater on YouTube. You get those, that.
In what way? What were they?
Oh, this guy was, he was going on about how I was just another fat person trying to blame my size because of, I was trying to blame it off on other people or on other things, and I wasn't accepting the fact that I caused my own fat, and it was one of those, I can't say I've never been bad about my eating. I'll admit, I've had candy, I've had cake and stuff like that, but I don't have it the proportions of the people I see. It's like I have a slice of cake. She's over there eating the whole damn cake, that kind of thing. Or I have a handful of grapes and she'll have a whole bag of grapes.
Right.
That kind of thing. This is what I'm seeing. I'm not 100% perfect, but I know a lot of what's going on isn't what I'm doing, and I know there's more to the story. And when I know that my calories are lower than what I should be eating and I'm still gaining weight, I know there's a problem, and I've gone to a lot of doctors. And so he was just saying I was a dime a dozen and, no good because I was fat, that kind of thing. And so basically my response to him was that you have done more for me in 1 month than all the doctors that I've gone to, and there's a line of them. I kept going to him, and the answer every time was, have surgery. And that's not the right answer, And I says, if you got the qualifications, I says, here's the qualifications that I need. If you got those qualifications, I'm glad to hear whatever you got to say. And it shut him up.
Yeah. Well, there's always going to be, obviously society views excess weight as an individual aspect. Even the political divide is that way.
Yeah.
Right? You have to accept individual responsibility. And that is true to a certain extent. But if you're in a societal environment, if your environment makes it difficult for you to choose to be more responsible, then it's kind of like you're running up against a brick wall. We can talk about, and they can be debated to everybody's blue in the face of what's causing excess weight. Well, we do know what causes excess weight. Too many calories, too few expenditure. That's the basic bottom line. But if you look at the societal nature of it, right, the overabundance of food in our society, the cheap value of food that's highly calorie dense. We see that as foods that are very calorie dense are typically the cheapest. Right? So when you're looking at in an economic downturn, the way our society's been, where you got to get more for your dollar, essentially, people make that choice, right? Look at McDonald's, right? I'll use them as an example, right? If you were crushed for time and limited on resources, you could go and have 700 calories instantly for $2.
Right.
Right? Where can you go and get something healthy for $2?
Not very many places.
It's hard. It's really hard, right? So it's a combination of things, right? If you're in an environment that promotes cheap, inexpensive, fast food eating, and you're in an environment that has to be in that kind of mentality, then it's hard. It's hard to do that. Okay. The second thing too is limited access or limited access to any type of recreational activities. Right? We know that. We've seen that firsthand in urban cities where there's limited sidewalks, limited parks. We do know that there's more rampant aspects of being overweight.
Yeah.
Right? People are not going to allow their kids to walk down a very busy street, right, if it's crime ridden.
Yeah.
They just are not going to do that. So they're going to keep them inside where it's safe and let them play video games. It's safer inside than it is outside.
And we're going to sit all day doing
Right.
this, right?
So there's a lot of factors, and obesity is a very, very complex disease because you're dealing with physiology, you're dealing with sociology, and then you're obviously dealing with individual psychology, right? That's why it's a multifaceted disorder. You can't just treat it in one aspect. You can't just say, you know, here's the bottom line. Eat less calories and you're going to lose weight. Well, yes, obviously that's true. But if there's a lot of factors, mitigating factors that would inhibit your ability to do that, then you can't fault that person to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Right? It is an individual choice, but if they're, again, if the risk benefits, if they're in a survival mode, right, that I can only do so much with a certain amount of money, how do you balance that? Right? People have to do what they have to do to survive, but ultimately you have to survive for yourself as well. So you do have to ultimately make choices, and it's hard. I understand it, and so you just, I mean, as bad as it may be, you just kind of have to, you know, drum out those individuals, you know, where, you know, it's obviously limited information, and they're not seeing the bigger picture. They're seeing it as a microscopic picture of you're just overweight, so therefore you must be lazy, therefore you don't really care.
Yeah.
It's a bigger picture than that. So.
Yeah, and it's just, it's sad to think that, because, you know, it's like I know that I went to the gym on a regular basis.
You're doing all the right things, and that's all that should matter.
Yeah.
You're exercising, you're being more physically active, you're eating healthy, and people will say, well, how is eating this healthy? Well, you're getting an abundance of all the micronutrients to support cellular health. That's the single most important thing. There is a transition period that we will work towards increasing calories, switching back to whole food, right? It's no different than if you were had bariatric surgery. You're limited to what you can eat. You're on pretty much a liquid diet to begin with.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a similar idea, just without the bariatric surgery. Right? So in point in case, you've lost nearly 20 pounds in a month.
Right.
So
yeah,
the method works.
And I've noticed that my dinners are healthier.
Yeah.
You know, before it was like, when you were talking about cheaper in our family, you know, with a house full of kids, we would buy potatoes because you could get a bag of potatoes for $2, you know, and stuff like that. Even though it was a vegetable, is how you cook it's the thing, and it's full of starch. Never mind what that does.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, I got all these vegetables. And I think our grocery bill is shorter too, or smaller. No? I think it is, because I just buy enough for the, you know, I buy some vegetables tonight that lasts me a week or two with a little bit that I buy. And but it's I noticed that my dinners are more nutritious. I'm sneaking in cucumbers to somebody every now and then. We get arguments about it. It's like, I don't want any. Eat the damn cucumber. Every now and then I can get them in a salad into them, but.
Well, I think you're doing well. I really do. I think you've done really well. Obviously, with the small hiccup in that first month, when again you're stopping to take medication when you weren't ready to do that.
My bad.
Yeah. So that's part of learning.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's really important. It's an important aspect to experience, right? To reinforce. That's why you don't do things without talking to your physician first. Second thing too is you know, you're increasing the activity, right? You'll probably start to see some improvements. I mean, obviously you're already starting to see some improvements with the clothing to be a little bit looser than where they were. So you've got some positive reinforcements there. One of the things that I want to talk about at your next session, though, is the support at home. That's what a key topic next month, since you brought up, you know, sneaking in cucumbers and so forth.
We have our battles.
Absolutely. And this is your journey, and I think that's really, really important. Is you can't make this be his journey with you. This is your journey, but he needs to support you.
Right.
And that's really an important aspect of that. I have another patient coming in. Great work. Okay.
Oh, I'm out of stuff.
Okay. I'm going to be out of town next week. Next week. I'm out of town. I'm going to go to a conference. Okay. So the first week of March. So we'll go pick up in 2 weeks from today. I'm limited on, we get a shipment of our products in, I believe, on Friday or Monday when I'm going to already be gone. So I'm rationing out.
Okay.
You're completely out of everything, bars and
I
so
got
forth.
2 bars left and maybe 1 thing of this left.
Okay, I have enough to get you by, so
Okay.
that's not too worry. So I have vanilla, and then I think maybe a little bit of chocolate.
Okay.
And then bars, I think I've got like 2 or 3 flavors of bars.
Okay.
For that. So what would you prefer?
Well, if I can have a mix of the
Vanilla.
chocolate and vanilla.
Yep.
And then the bars, what you got?
I think we have apple cinnamon, and I think I have a chocolate raspberry.
I'll try the chocolate raspberry. I haven't tried
Okay.
that one yet.
All right. Let me go get those for you real fast.
Okay.